When asked if that's how Jerry Jones felt during his weekly radio interview, Jerry said, quote, "This certainly ranks as one of the most surprising seasons. I thought we had, personnel-wise, one of the best teams we've ever had." So, Shannon, is this accurate or delusional?
It's good, Jerry delusional. He did bring in a lot of guys that had played in the Pro Bowls, but Skip, they had been so far removed from the last time they had gone to the Pro Bowl. And you know, once you're in the Pro Bowl, that's on your resume. That's there. But I was reading, they say you should update you should update your resume every 6 months to a year. These guys hadn't updated those Pro Bowl resumes in 3, 4, 5 years. Skip. This is what I love about Jerry. Because Jerry said this is one of the most talented. Jerry, repeat what you said. What did Jerry say? Make sure I get it right.
About if it's delusion?
No, one of the roster.
The exact quote. Okay. He said, as one of the most surprising seasons ever, he thought personnel-wise this was one of the best teams we've ever had.
Ever had.
Skip, you don't mind me asking. Every player on that roster, what are the reasons they're in Dallas? Jerry Jones. So what the hell you expect him to say? That's like a chef saying, "This is one of the best menus I've ever put together." You put it together. What do I expect you to say? This some trash I'm serving? Jerry Jones, this is very self-serving, bro.
Wait a second. Does the health department come in and say you can't have that dish, that dish, that dish, that dish? Is that what happens?
No, but Skip, you don't get to say this. If you put it all together, did you actually think Jerry's going to say this roster was not, we got a lot of pieces that's wrong, that's out of place? He put it together. This is self-serving. He drafted those players. He traded for those players. He signed those players free agency. So what the hell did we expect him to say? That it was trash? When he brought, of course, Jerry, when have you ever known Jerry not to pat himself on the back? Skip, the old saying is every frog will praise his own pond. He got the deepest, bluest waters, the nicest lily pad, the prettiest fish. Of course. What did you expect Jerry to say when he drafted, or the reasons why every player is there? Exactly what he said.
I'm sorry, I am with Jerry on this. If you just go back to opening day to start with, they had this, they were tied for the second most Pro Bowlers on any roster in the NFL. If you go back to mid-off season, and I'm going back there right now, they were running away with Pro Bowl players, because if we go back before all hell broke loose, they had 27 returning, they had 27 Pro Bowls to the credit of all their offensive starters, okay? So combined, they had made 27 Pro Bowls.
Right.
That's extraordinary.
Right.
You can't find that.
Okay.
But that was with Ty Smith, who had 7. He lasted 2 games. He's gone for the year. That was with Travis Frederick, who had 5, and he had to retire because of a syndrome that he was suffering, and it was a shock because he was right in the middle of his prime. Zach Martin has obviously been hit and miss on his injuries this year. He's gone now. He's 6 Pro Bowls. Should have been 7 this year. Dak, 2 Pro Bowls. Zeke, 3, and Amari, 4. That's a lot of firepower in offense. And if all those players are back and healthy, and I didn't even add Lyle Collins, who has not yet made a Pro Bowl, but he was on the verge of making his first Pro Bowl. He's gone for the year. If you have all those players healthy and happy, all still in their primes, I'm sorry, they're going to be really, really good.
Yeah, can't we say that about every team?
Well, I'm saying about this one, because no team got hit harder on offense on injuries than this team did.
Harder than,
wiped out.
Let me ask you this question.
Wiped out.
Harder than the 49ers.
Yeah.
Skip, they lost every last running back. They lost their quarterback. They lost their top quarterback.
Ditto. The whole offensive line is gone.
And wide receivers.
The whole offensive line is gone.
And tight end.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's right there with me, because if you take out all those Pro Bowl offensive linemen, you got no shot. And they've cobbled together an offensive line that's actually playing pretty well right now, with 2 undrafted free agents as the bookend tackles, 1 a rookie, 1 in his second year.
Okay, so what does that say, Skip? If you change coaches and you're still underperforming, so who is that an indictment of?
Well,
are the players not as talented as you say they are, or you need to change coaching staffs again?
Okay, well, it's an indictment of the injury gods. I don't know how you prevent that.
Yeah.
Well, it's just too many. If you have that many injuries, and take away that many perennial Pro Bowlers, you're going to struggle on offense. That's just a fact.
But you didn't do that with the Eagles when their offensive line was wiped out, when their receiving core was wiped out, when the running backs was wiped out. You never made those same concessions.
Well,
the same thing with the 49ers.
Your starting quarterback, and you loved him.
Okay, so Skip. So you remember what happened when your offensive line was bad and Dak didn't have anybody to throw to? You remember what happened when Zeke was out and Dak got sacked 8 times and he looked terrible, and you had to make a trade and give up 2 first-rounders for Amari Cooper. So you could have all your starters. There's a reason why Brady left. Brady was healthy, but you need weapons. So I need somebody to tell me, with all that firepower. So what about the defensive side? If I'm not mistaken, Wolf Hunter was a Pro Bowler. Jalen Smith was a Pro Bowler. Clinton Dix was a Pro Bowler.
He was. DeMarcus Lawrence, 2 Pro Bowls. Gerald McCoy, who was hurt, got hurt, 6 Pro Bowls. Everson Griffin they brought in. I thought that was a great pickup. 4 Pro Bowls. Dontari Poe, I thought, was the best pickup of the whole offseason. As an anchor of the defensive front, 2 Pro Bowls. Whew. That's 18 combined Pro Bowls for the new defense that I thought on opening day or just before opening day was going to be great. Gerald McCoy went down a little before then. But, my God, that's a lot of new firepower on defense, and somehow they revolted, they mutinied against the new defensive coordinator, who was the worst pickup of the offense was Mike Nolan.
The worst thing a parent can do for a child is to never fault their child, but blame the teacher or blame a situation in which the child constantly in. Skip, listen. If everywhere you go something smells like poop, it ain't somebody else pooping, you there.
Okay.
So it has to be you.
All these Pro Bowlers decided that Mike Nolan's defense was poop. They made it very clear. They made it very clear to everybody, including some reporters, this is poop, and we aren't going to stand for it. And guess what Jerry did at midseason? Thank you very much, and goodbye.
And what does it change?
He cut Gerald McCoy. He cut Everson Griffin. He cut Dontari
Traded
Poe.
Everson.
Traded Everson Griffin. Got rid of him. And he cut Clinton Dix. What?
So let me ask you a question. After he made those moves, how many games did you win after you got rid of the last guy that was there? I think Everson Griffin was the last guy that you traded.
Yep.
And you cut Worley. I think you cut Worley too. So I want to know. So what was
But he wasn't a Pro Bowler. But whatever. He's now starting.
Jen, this is some advice from you when you become a parent. That's the worst mistake that you can make. Your child, I understand Cowboys, but you got to hold them accountable, and you refuse to. You blame the injury guards. You blame the offensive guard. You blame Mike Nolan. I have yet to put. So when they rush it for 300 yards and 250 and 150 and 185.
I know, but you're talking about like 4th graders with the 4th grade teacher. Wait a second. What if the 4th grade teacher is teaching Oxford graduates?
No.
Oxford graduates.
No. I'm telling you,
you got to blame the 4th grade teacher.
I'm telling you, your child is being disruptive. See, and you know, the thing about parents, they know their child because the child is disruptive. It's hard for me to see a scenario where your child is not disruptive at home, just chooses to be disruptive at school. You know, you watch them enough to what you see. You know they aren't very good, but Jerry wants to pat himself on the back. I am not Skip. When the teacher says, okay, grade your test, I am not giving myself a C. I am not giving myself a B. I'm giving myself an A. You let me grade my own paper, I'm giving myself an A. Jerry Jones wants to grade his own personnel moves, and he gave himself an A. Like we don't know what's going on.
Well, injuries and mutiny, and they either got rid of themselves thanks to the injury gods, or he cut them or traded them.
Okay.
Well, come on. Well, look at what it was. It was greatness waiting to happen. You were in big trouble.
Let me ask you a question.
You got the break of your undisputed life.
If you don't mind me asking, Skip, it's the injuries, wiped them out. Did Dak finish the season healthy last year? What about Zeke? What about Amari? What about Zach Martin? What about Travis Frederick? What about Tyron Smith? What about Wolf Hunter? What about Jalen Smith? What about D-Law? Tell me the guy that finished on IR last year, and did you make the playoffs? Okay.
Coach's fault. Blame the teacher. I don't know what he taught. It was old 8-8 Jason's fault.
Skip, I can't believe you, Skip.
Well,
I'm skipping. Here you are, a senior, and I'm giving you ABCs, and you telling me to teach. I didn't learn my ABCs earlier.
I appreciate you bring that up because the point was my quarterback had a tough year. He had a rocky road on the road because every road game he stunk. He stunk at New England, and he stunk at Philadelphia, and I could just go on and on about stinking at the Jets. It was one game after another where he stunk. And then you said he deserved $42 million, and that was disruptive to this team also, that he didn't get paid the way he demanded to get paid, the way you wanted him overpaid to wreck my salary cap.
I don't try to wreck your salary cap. I just want the man to get fair compensation. That's it.
Oh, that's all you want? Okay. I actually want to talk about this a little bit more. Will Luka spoil LeBron's Christmas and possibly Shannon's as well? We go there next.